Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So now we're starting to understand why you have these Bitcoin companies moving so aggressively. You have Ripple on Wall Street making a Wall Street push. You have Ripple lobbying everywhere. You have Cardano. They came out saying how they want to be the security layer for the financial system. And then that got buried. That's interesting, is it not? But why would you come out and say that? You have Hedera doing all this business. Hedera doing all this business globally. Chainlink. It's just running through financial institutions, just picking up contracts. It all makes sense now. You see, we've been walking here on the channel a certain pathway of information, but the last 2 days, did you see what was dropping? And when I say it's getting serious, they're beginning to confirm and expose the things that we have been covering here on the channel. You think not? Watch this. Now, this one here, this article is titled, "Look into this for yourselves." I can't emphasize that enough. See it for yourself. Read it for yourself. I'm telling you, it's going to hit harder. Then people won't be able to tell you, misinformation, etc. That's how I feel. You make up your own mind about it. This article is titled, "New York Fed's Secret." So if I put secret in the title, it shouldn't be a problem. New York Fed's secret emergency huddle sparks fear. Why? Sparks fear of brewing what? Liquidity crisis on Wall Street. Have we not been saying that? Have I not showed you the charts, the information, the documents from the Fed, screenshots from the Fed, the different banks? Folks, this is why the bank coins are so comfortable. They're about to do a Steph Curry shimmy shake in a moment. Like they just hit a 3-pointer at the last second of the game. They have them in a headlock because the legacy system set themselves up. They dug a hole, right? Thinking everyone else was going to fall in it, not realizing they themselves fell in the hole. And there's an old ancient phrase like that. I used to hear it from all the old timers. They used to say something like, if you dig a hole for one, they would say something like, if you dig a hole for one man, that's how they sound. Always had that deep grizzled voice. If you dig a hole for one man, make sure you dig a hole for yourself. Right. There's a lot of truth in that. That negative mentality that is self-destructive, that arrogance, it doesn't allow you to see negatives that are to come, a system filled with flaws, a massive flaws that could have been repaired, but they exploited the flaws in order to enrich themselves. Can I use that verb? Enrich themselves, make themselves wealthy, make themselves powerful, etc. And now it's coming back to haunt them. Let's read this little tidbit here, okay? Let's scroll down. Hold on. Bear with me. So now we're seeing that. Well, let me read this little tidbit, then I'll give my thoughts. Here's the synopsis from economictimes.com. Early signals of a global credit crunch, we've been talking about this, are flashing. New York Fed held a secret liquidity huddle. Wait a minute. Let me pause. I know once people hear, well, global credit crunch, here's the problem. Yes, this is not good whatsoever. And leads one to many different thoughts. However, if you see what else has been released simultaneously, back to back, boom, boom. The other thing I'm going to cover in the members only section. Did you see the members only section, the members only video I released last night? Check that one out. I may have to drop another one on you. Is that serious? I'm dead. Hey, that's all I can tell you. But if you see both of these pieces of information together, you're saying to yourself, whoa, Mick was telling us the truth. Hey, I know everything's based on perception. Perspectives is what you take. You have your perspectives that, which is the information you're taking from your environment. And then your perception, the lens of your mind shapes what you get from the perspective, and everybody sees differently. No two eyes see the same. I understand that. So when people say, oh, that's just your truth. Not understand, but I understand that on a very deep level. All right. So I'm not unaware of such. No two eyes see alike, all truth or but half truth. I understand that because of perceptions, perspectives, that which we take in, lens of the mind. So yeah, you're not telling me anything new. Let's continue on forward. And anybody that doesn't understand it, look into that. All right. that doesn't negate from objective reality. It doesn't. The rock is still there. These problems are still there. They remain. They are there. That's objective. Let's keep going. So it says this. New York Fed held a secret liquidity huddle. Wait a minute. What could provide liquidity for all things, really? And there is no limitation to what assets it can provide liquidity for, what entities it can provide liquidity for. XRP. Wait a minute. And anybody can use XRP. Yes. But even though, although anybody can use XRP, it was built for the banks, large financial institutions. Okay. Wait a minute. This is starting to make sense. They have closed ecosystems for the regular people? No. Who do they build those closed ecosystems for? Who do they build a private ledger for? Regular people? No, wait. They built it for the banks and large financial institutions. That's interesting to me. And who's been building treasuries for XRP? Regular people? No, regular people, a lot of them have been selling. There's been a lot of retail selling. That would be the institutions building treasuries. Okay, that's interesting. Who's setting up infrastructures and utilizing and building on the XRPL? That's institutions as well. This sort of is leaning everything in a certain direction. Wouldn't you say? Is getting hot. This is why they're confident in one of many reasons. There's so many. This is why I say they have them in a headlock. I remember getting headlocked for the first time. My first match. I share a little quick story with you. Why not? The senior on the team. He had gotten suspended or something like that. I was a freshman at the time. And I was going to go JV. That was my first year on that particular team. And the senior, he got suspended or something like that. He couldn't wrestle. So I'm not even supposed to wrestle at that weight class. They threw me in that weight class. I'm like, Mick, you're going to go in. There is no, do you want to go in? There's none of that. It's like, you're going to go in. I'm like, whatever. Okay, I'm a warrior. I'm going to go. I go in, wrestling some kid. He wasn't like the best. If he had met me at my peak, I would have crushed this kid. No disrespect, but you know how us wrestlers, we talk. And it's all respect, you know what I mean? We're competitive. There's no secret about that. And we just crush each other, beat each other to bits, and we'll shake each other's hand, chill afterwards. So it's nothing to us. Regular people might not understand that. Anyway, so I'm wrestling this kid who I would have crushed at my peak, absolutely destroyed. And I'm not saying I'm like the best ever. I would beat Daniel Cormier and Randy Couture and Cael Sanderson. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in that instance, yes, I feel like that. So anyway, but at the time that kid was better than me. And I just remember getting caught in the most textbook headlock. I didn't see it coming. I didn't expect it. Yes, I shouldn't have been caught in something like that. I know. It happens. I wasn't thinking. I was distracted heavily. I wasn't expecting to have to get put in. And I got headlocked. And I just remember just ever so gently flying through the air. That's how it happens. In slow-mo, flying through the air and landing on top of my skull. Boom. My mother went insane. Oh, Mick, get up, Mick. I was like, my eyeballs rolling all around in my skull. I looked like a cartoon character. My eyes were cocked like a pistol right there. Whoa, the room is spinning. What happened? Getting a proper headlock. Let me tell you something. That was a great headlock that kid caught me in. This is decades and decades and decades ago, of course. That was a great headlock. Anyway, so that's when I think of headlock, I think about that. Yeah. So now back to this situation here, of which is looking amazing for Bankcoin holders. This is just a fact. There you go. I mean, if you want something to feel excited about, there you go. That's why. And this is taking place where, they said? Wall Street. Why did it refresh the page? Wall Street. Where was Brad Garlinghouse recently? Wall Street. Where was BlackRock recently? Wall Street. Where was BlackRock recently? At the Ripple's event. You see how this is all coming together? Wait a minute. So recently, Brad Garlinghouse was on Wall Street. BlackRock was on Wall Street. And then you have this information come out afterwards about Wall Street having these problems. You think that's coincidence? You think they didn't say, wait, hold off on that? Hold off on that information. Let's talk first. Bankcoin companies to legacy system. Let's see if we can chop some deals up. lay some deals out. Don't put that information out just yet. We don't want people looking into it because they know people like myself are going to, and we don't have strings attached. So as soon as we find it, we're going to bring it to the people, which could make the people too bullish, could make them just have too much resolve in themselves. But that's up to the people. See, I just provide the information. Others provide the information. It's the legacy system that wants control over the people's minds and what they do. No, we don't want them too bullish. If they're bullish or not, how could I control that? How would I know? I'm just on this side of the screen. But I do believe they do that. They're like, wait, hold off on that information. Why wouldn't this come out beforehand? Also, Wall Street would say, hey, we have some meetings. I think it's logical for them to say we have some meetings with Ripple and BlackRock who want to capitalize off the bank coins massively. And BlackRock doesn't play. You see, BlackRock is about to go against the hedge funds now, right? They're looking to dominate. Yeah, they're here to make massive amounts of value. Wall Street probably is saying to themselves, wait a minute, just hold off on that first, because that could be negative to us. This is how you know it's real. It comes out after all of that. You don't want to go into negotiations at a disadvantage, right? Which tells me there probably were negotiations going on. Why would this come out now? We've been reporting on this for quite some time. Independently, no mainstream media source has been touching the information that we have been covering until now, the last few days. Why? Why is that? The only logical, well, maybe it's not the only one, but I think the most logical conclusion to draw is they were trying to maintain their advantageous image to cut good deals. With Ripple, BlackRock, other companies as well are in there. That's what I cover. Ripple, BlackRock, Bankcoin families, and ones who are legacy system entities that are very, positive for Bankcoin companies to deal with. But let's continue this a little bit here. So look at this, folks. I mean, they're just spilling all of this. If you're still with me, hit that like button. Take those powerful hands. Hit that like button. The power is yours. I say use it. Why not? One day we won't be here any longer. Why let that power just go to waste? Use that power. Boom, boom, little like button. And I use my power, a little bit of it, to bring you some information. So now it says highest repo use. Ooh, how far are you willing to go, Economic Times? Oh, they've been doing a good job. I will say that. Highest repo use since 2021. That in itself is a bombshell to anyone who knows. Why is that? Highest repo use. You tell me? Bombshell. Let's keep going. Another $22 billion followed. Why? Banks need cash, reserves are tight, SOFR is rising, funding rates are stressed. Holy smokes, they're going off, folks. Shout out to whoever this is that wrote this at Piyush Shukla from Economic Times. Good job. RNZ warns of a canary in the coal mine moment. What's that mean, canary in the coal mine? You know what? I need to strike these visual images in people's minds. It conveys the point better. Canary in the coal mine. How many canaries in the coal mines? Multiple. Do people need to see to know that this system is about to be replaced? It's either going to be controlled demolition or it's coming down on its own. What difference does it really make? I mean, we could get into those intricacies. I like to know them because I like to know solid reasonings as to why something's going to happen. However, it leads to the same point. It's just a fork in the road. It leads to the same point. Let's keep going. Quantitative tightening drained liquidity, which they said, we're going to stop now. Really? Why'd you go this far? You didn't. So now you're going to do quantitative easing. Easing. You almost let me get away with that. You almost did. Somebody out there's like, Mick, I wasn't going to let you get away. Mick, I wasn't going to let you get away with that. I know you weren't. I know you were not. Yeah. But I like that. Hold everybody accountable. I like that. Let's go. Let's keep going. This is getting good. Treasury auctions. Oh my word. Yes. Piyush Shukla, do you watch my channel? Somebody else, they're like, Mick, you know they don't watch your channel. You don't. Don't say that. I'm saying there's been some people who have over the years, they have watched the channel. And they reach out. They let me know. That's what I'm just saying. Like, I'm trying to say that in all humility. So you'll be shocked. And I'll say this, not just me. It doesn't matter the size of your YouTube channel. I'm going to let you know that. You can have 5 subs. Somebody within those 5 subs may be someone of note. Not that it should matter. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm not a people worshiper. Like, oh, man, there's people watching me. No. But I'm just saying, never underestimate who might be a part of your subs as long as you're putting out some good information, content. But that's just strange. It's like treasury. Everything we've been talking about is summed up here. That's why that's strange to me. That's not strange to you? They do say, you know, like, what do they say? Brilliant minds think alike. That's what they say. I don't say that with arrogance. I don't. But that's just everything we talk quantitative tightening, the easing, the canary in the coal mine. They're just phrasing the different reserves, SOFR, the repo use. We've been covering every little bit of this. You're like, you're not, somebody out there is like, Mick, you're not the only one covering that stuff. I wouldn't know. I don't, listen, I'm focused on my work the last few years. I don't know what other people are doing. I'm focused on anybody that's around me going to tell you that. I have so much going on. So you're telling me. You're informing me of that, if that's the case. But I don't know that. And I don't see article writers covering things like this all the time. This is new. So Treasury auctions. Yes, keep your eye on the Treasury. Something is wrong at the U.S. Treasury. People are not calling them out. They're not saying anything about why is the U.S. Treasury setting the U.S. up? Can you explain that to me? You think they're just incompetent? Folks, you don't take actions that negate the Fed's positive actions. And I'm not a fan of the Fed at all whatsoever. At all. I'm not the fan of any authoritarian figure whatsoever. At all. But I can acknowledge when an entity or someone's doing something that could be positive for everyone. So the Fed takes certain actions and then the U.S. Treasury is like, no, watch this. Drains the liquidity from that. Then, that's one. Then the U.S. Treasury comes out, their leader comes out and says, you know, these stable coins, they're going to blow up and, let me not use that phrase. But these stable coins are going to proliferate, and it's going to be worth trillions of dollars at some point. It's going to be at the crux. Stable coins will be at the crux of the U.S. financial system. Why would you want that? Knowing the nature of stablecoins, your own Fed. This is what I'm talking about. What is going on at the U.S. Treasury? Your Fed is telling you in recent documents, stablecoins aren't stable, that's how you accelerate, make it easier for bank runs when the banks are already in a precarious position. So it's either the biggest incompetence of all time or you're setting this up. That's why I cover certain information the other day. I won't touch on that information very often. I've almost never. Even the picture of the individual that was in the thumbnail, I almost never talk about that. But that's a very interesting connection considering certain things. And I will not pretend to be unaware of certain things. But if you have connections to certain companies and you have connections to certain ideologies, it's like, oh, wait, you're familiar with that mentality of profit on something's downfall. That's interesting. Scott Bessent has these certain connections. I'm just saying, I'm just painting a certain picture, play with these thoughts as I'm trying to figure things out. The U.S. Something's wrong there. Oh, but this is going to affect. Let's continue on. Lenders are cautious. They should be. Not just because of this, but because this is one of many knives in the legacy system, which is sort of like the Caesar at this time. One of the many knives in Caesar's back, the legacy system's back. Et tu, Brute. It's that moment right now when I'm looking at the U.S. Treasury, to be quite honest. It's the et tu, you tu Brutus scenario, only manifested in the financial system. That's exactly how I look at it. That's a great story to read, by the way, folks. Caesar. There's a lot of great ancient stories out there. I recommend. They had great wisdom in the past. People don't like it all. They want to feel superior these days. But that's a pathway to ignorance, in my opinion. I want to learn from the brilliant people of today. I want to learn from the brilliant people of yesteryear. And within me, I try to accumulate all of these wisdoms, which I don't share on this channel, right? You're like, what wisdom, Mick? You know, things that like quantum panpsychism theories and, you know, alternative theories about that's some modern stuff. OK, so then also the teachings of like, you know, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Plotinus, Zeno. I've listened to Parmenides. I've listened to Parmenides 3 times in the last month, just analyzing all of these different thoughts, things like that. So anyway, let's continue on here. I'm just saying, to advance oneself, if you're going to be lifting weights every day and you're wrestling, you're doing MMA, things like that, I've walked that path already. I walked that path for most of my life. My father set me on that path early. This mixed martial arts. Oh, do taekwondo, Mick. Do kung fu. Do kickboxing, Mick. Wrestling and boxing. Okay, well, at a certain point, you start to realize, like, wait a minute, let me exercise my mind. That's the point here. You're going to be exercising your body. Are you exercising your mind as hardcore as you exercise your body? What is the point of having a fit body with an unfit mind? And of course, I guess that goes right along with the idea of also keep yourself healthy when it comes to vitamins, nutrients, etc. But that's up to you and your medical provider, not financial advice and not health advice either. So you get a little mix here on the channel. We're talking about, I'm pointing you towards important information here, but yes, we're delving into a little bit of other things as well. Hey, listen, that's just my way. I can only be, that sounds crazy, but I'm going to say it. I can only be myself. That's it. Don't ask me to be someone else. You want something else, you got to get it from them. So yeah, I'm going to help people. I help people help themselves. That's how I feel. So now, counterparty fears are growing. Analysts see persistent stress. Deleveraging risk rising. Markets are uneasy. Liquidity conditions are tightening fast. Hey, folks, this is a bombshell. They're acknowledging it now. Pieces are coming out. I don't think any one entity could put out all of the different reasonings as to why the new financial system is rising, or something like XRP, because there's a few. You got XRP, XLM, you have Chainlink, Solana, Algorand. You have a few of them in position. HBAR. Let's say Solana as well. XDC. You have a few of them in well positioned why they're going to do well. And then also in that same instance, whether an article or video, give you all of the various weaknesses in the legacy financial system as of right now that the new financial system is taking advantage of. It's just too much. It's just too much. That'd be like 7 to 8 hour video with a comprehensive breakdown. Yeah, it'd be like a 7 to 8 hour video. But they're doing their best is what I'm saying by putting it out piece by piece. That's better than nothing. We used to never hear about things like this, which tells you the time period we're in. They know that this is too big to hide forever. So they're trying to get out ahead of it. They're letting their mainstream media sort of take the reins on this. So people like myself are not at the forefront of this, because maybe people might listen to them. Like that's who they're going to see first. They do big numbers. They have the capital to do all that promoting. You know, channels like mine, it's just raw. It's just powered by you, the people. That's it. If they get likes, it's from you to people. If it gets views, from you to people. These people don't have to worry about that. They're going to get views anyway, by hook or by crook. Right? And they know that. So now that they can't hide it, they're putting their people in position to be at the forefront of speaking on it. I'm not going to allow that to happen. You're going to get the absolute best information here. Like they just touching lightly on this. We've been going deep. All right. So now let's go here to a little bit of it's a little bit of a different video. Sometimes we're strictly on that information, analyzing it. And sometimes we analyze a little bit of the information. And then sometimes we give a little bit to the energy of the people as well. Right? Not treat the people that are viewing the video. And I'm not trying to treat the people like they're some kind of robots or something like that. I'm just putting out, they're just video watchers. I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way. That's just not me. So yeah, I'm going to vibe with you, rock with you, speak with you from time to time, share something of myself. We're not strangers, whatever you feel like. That don't mean you have to have a connection with me, but it's a thing of respect. I believe in respect. So I'm going to share something of myself. I'm not a stranger to you. Just sitting here listening to somebody. You don't even know who I am. No, you do know who I am. So now let's go here. Somebody out there like, Mick, I don't know you, Mick. I didn't grow up with you, Mick. You didn't. But one thing you could believe, if you were getting jumped on the street, you want me to walk by. You definitely do, because I'm not going to let that happen. If you need someone to stand up for something that's good, I'm trying to think of a neutral word, and there's an injustice being done, you want somebody like me there. You definitely do. You want someone that's not going to hold back what most people do because they're afraid or, I don't want to give a position. Listen, you want someone like me there because I'm going to give you the fullness of whatever is needed without fear, because I wasn't raised on fear, without fear and not requiring anything in return. You want someone like me there. You definitely do, because we don't need anything from anyone. So we give and then we walk away. We don't require a thanks. We didn't do it for a thanks. We didn't do it to receive something. I know that's hard to believe because the world is a certain way. Hey, I don't control what the world is. That is the world. That's not me. Let me be me. And I'm saying that to be respectful because I'm going to be me, whether I'm here or not, whether I'm out there or not, whether you know me or not. But if you were in the world and you needed someone to be there besides your family or somebody that you love, that 100% was going to get your back, Mick would get your back. And I know because I've done it. I've done it plenty of times. Put my life on the line for people plenty of times. So, yeah, I'm not a stranger to you. So, yeah, I didn't grow up with you, but it don't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's go. I'm a warrior. I'm an intellectual warrior, like my father raised me to be. Now, here, calm down. Calm down. Whoa, you get intense. Somebody like, Mick, you ain't know what? All right, now. Bitcoin. I love you guys. I don't care. I love talking to you. Hey, let me have a good time, man. Tomorrow's not promised. All right. I know that better than anybody. That's why I'm living. I'm living. A little intensity, a little bit of fun. I'm no strings. I'm free. All right. Now let's and anybody can be free. It just takes you to create that condition in your own mind and in your circumstances. Now, Bitcoin. I have this article here. Crypto crash. Oh, crash. Why Bitcoin price dropped after record $126,000. Hold on, because don't let the fear on somebody's heart pounding. What's Bitcoin's price right now? That's the heartbeat. Their heart been beating like that all day. Don't, calm down. Shh. Breathe. Exhale. Breathe. I'm dead serious. Exhale. Let them thoughts go free. Don't burden yourself. The world is going to bring you burden. The world is going to beat you. Attempt to beat you anyway. You don't need to do it to yourself. Let those thoughts go. Let that burden go. Breathe and be free. Yeah, and be strong. Strong. You got to be strong mentally. You got to say to yourself, nothing can break me. So now we got that out of the way because you needed it. Somebody's like, you needed it, Mick. I didn't need it. I didn't need it. I didn't need it at all. You're funny. 126. Somebody's like, wait, Mick, I didn't make a joke. Not you, the other one. Move over. Wait, the other one over there. Somebody else across the world somewhere. They were funny. All right. Play along. Jeez, man, play along. $126,000. Nobody can see you. This is the time where you're free. $126,000, and why Citi predicts Bitcoin BTC USD could hit 181,000. Everybody's still bullish. Tell me why. While they're spreading all this fear, everyone that was bullish remains bullish, because long-term, folks, the trajectory has not changed. The positive catalysts have not changed. States still want Bitcoin. Countries still want Bitcoin and went deep on it recently. Large asset managers still want Bitcoin. You like that? Like, I'm turning it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just playing. I'm just flowing. They all still want Bitcoin. Once again. And that's why they're continuing to make these high predictions. Not financial advice. It will go back up. And people will behave shocked on the first day. That's as long as it's going to last. Bitcoin went back up again. And you knew it was going to go back up. And you're playing the game. You're playing the game. You knew Bitcoin was going to go back up. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. Who knows when? Bitcoin's quite unpredictable. But that short term, long term, still super bullish. Super bullish. So it says here, so you have some predicting $181,000, $250,000. They're letting you know. And while the wild ones come out and just say $1 million still, they're all just trying to convey the same point, that they remain bullish on Bitcoin. That's it. It says, based on increasing institutional adoption and Bitcoin's potential to become a preferred asset class, liquidity and leverage, a major cause of the crash was excessive leverage in the crypto market, leading to over $20 billion in liquidations, according to the article of the Economic Times. Long-term holder selling. See that right there. I told you. Not I told you. I was reading to you from article writers. So-called experts is what they call them, right? They're like experts. Every article, anyone who speaks that they write about, they have to write about them positively. So they call them experts so they get another interview. That's how it feels. I'm just saying, you don't have to agree with me. I'm just saying, and I don't mean to be facetious. That's what I think. So everyone's an expert. So according to them, this is what the experts are saying. Long-term holders are selling. All those maxis like, I'm never going to sell Bitcoin. I'm never selling Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the way. Bitcoin is going to save the world. Meanwhile, on the side, they're saying that over here. Over here, they're like, hey, man, sell that Bitcoin real quick. While they're celebrating. Sell that Bitcoin real quick. We're never selling Bitcoin. Did you sell it yet? We're never selling Bitcoin. Hey, man, you sold it? Oh, yes, we sold it. Yes. I'll talk to you later. They don't know we sold, right? You're not going to leave my company and then leak that we sold it. I'm just painting a picture. You don't have to believe the picture. Data show. That's what I think. That's what they reported. Long-term holders for months and months and months been selling massive Bitcoin while companies are buying Bitcoin. And I would go out on a limb and believe, because I'm pretty familiar with human psychology. I've dealt with many, many people. My entire life has been dealing with people. So I've studied the minds of the average person, and they get upset. I think a lot of long-term holders are upset that the companies are taking over. And it makes sense. This was yours. You had control of it. It was your show, and now it was your throne, and now your throne, your show has been stolen from you. Maybe you're upset about that. And you're like, you know what? I just want to get out. I just want to get out, go live my life, hit all the different beaches, white, black sand, beautiful locations. I just want to live my life. I don't want this stress anymore. You know what? Bitcoin betrayed me. I'm going to sell. Maybe there's some of that. It's a possibility, is it not? Are you saying there's not a possibility? It's not a possibility. Why do you think in such a monolithic way? I just don't feel that way. I'm projecting because of comments that I read. You're like, Mick, what? You're just saying, you're just coming out of your mind with that? Like, no. When I speak like that, it's because I've read so many comments. And that's why. I mean, people who make the comments, they know. It's just you don't know. You didn't make the comment. So there you know. Now you have explanation why I do that. When I go into that mode and I'm speaking as like two people, myself and then someone else, that's why I do that. But Bitcoin remains bullish in my humble opinion. It says data shows long-term holders sold approximately 815,000 BTC in 1 month. Long-term holders. A move that combined with weakening ETF and spot demand added selling pressure. I wonder why. So there's a combination of things. I do think of a lot of it is manipulation. And that also, that selling right there is manipulation. It's just manipulation of a different kind. All right, so we're going to leave that here. Citi predicts $181,000 target. Citi's optimistic forecast is based on continued interest from large investors and increased institutional flows into Bitcoin. Preferred asset class. Citi believes that Bitcoin has the potential to become a preferred asset class, which would drive its price higher over the next 12 months. Citi acknowledges potential headwinds such as stronger US dollar and weaker gold prices. Okay, I don't think you have to worry about gold, but we'll see. But maintains a bullish outlook due to the increasing institutional adoption. Gold is super bullish in my humble opinion. All right, so now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.